So one of the things which we learned from the formation of the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers is that a multi-stakeholder structure for the creation of policy was really important. Government, civil society, the technical community, and the operators all need to be part of that discussion. So in the context of policy development, the Internet Governance Forum, which meets every year, has a similar structure. And so I'm completely convinced that for responsible and practical policy development, we need all of those parties at the table. So there are two or three that let me call them policies that need to be strongly endorsed. One is the introduction and use of IP version 6 so we can keep growing the network. That's not as much an issue as it is simply something we need to encourage. The other thing is the introduction of the multilingual, if you like, top-level domains, and I'd like to encourage that because it helps bring communities onto the network. With regard to really hard policy questions, one of them is dealing with abuse on the network, harms that occur, torts, in at least the American legal system. How to deal with that in an international setting. So we're going to have discussions on a multilateral basis about what harms can be done through the internet and what agreements we can make internationally about enforcing some of those, enforcing laws that will protect citizens, especially from an international harm that might occur. So you can do whatever you want to domestically, but unless we have agreements on a multilateral basis, we won't be able to protect our citizens from attacks and other abuse, fraud, and so on that takes place originating in another country. First of all, I think that we can see trends in the Internet's evolution that are important to us. One is the increased use of mobiles and mobile access. Another is the increased speed of the network, optical fiber, or with coaxial cable or other transport methods, giving people millions, tens of millions of bits per second. The third thing is the convergence of all the various media into this internet platform. Not only does it have regulatory implications, but it also has implications for the kind of digital objects that we start to deal with. I'll give you a small example. A book is something that you can print or you can put it on the screen. But what happens if you can interact with the book? What if there are charts that you can change the numbers on or parameters that you can change and you can watch this interact? Or what if the electronic book could talk to other electronic books and make reference to them and pull information in when you click like the World Wide Web does? These are very complex digital objects, and we don't necessarily have a way to preserve those digital objects over long periods of time. The reason is that you need a piece of application software to interact with these complex digital objects. If that software doesn't work anymore, if it's not supported anymore, it's as if the book disappeared. You have the bits, but you don't know how to interpret them. So the word I use for this is bit rot, where the bits don't mean anything anymore. So we have to work on preserving our ability to interpret the bits that are in these digital objects over hundreds of years. So we can read manuscripts today that are 1,000 years old or more, but will we be able to read a digital book even 10 years from now? We have to make sure the answer is yes. So I think that an academic institution has to accept that it cannot be expert in every possible domain. So it's smart to try to do some concentration. With the increasing connectivity of academic institutions through the net, it may be possible to share expertise. So if you have one university very focused on a particular set of subjects, but you want to give the students access to a full range, sharing of the information among the institutions is one way to do that. Massachusetts Institute of Technology did something very brave a few years ago. They put all of their academic content onto the internet, freely available. And some people said, you must be crazy. But the MIT reasoning was that people would find that information. If they were interested in it, they would search for it and find it. And the message was, if you already understand this material, you don't need to come to MIT. If you don't understand this material, the only place you're going to learn how to understand it is to come to MIT. And that worked. I mean, they already were very well known anyway, but like MSU here or MGIMO here. So this was a very interesting tactic, and if everyone else did that, then all of the students, including the ones who've already graduated, would have access to all that information. So this is the power of sharing.